Have you ever gotten to Friday afternoon and felt like you worked incredibly hard all week long, but you're not entirely sure what you accomplished? I've had those weeks. The kind where you're exhausted, your inbox is still full, you've solved 100 problems, and yet the things you intended to focus on somehow just never happened. You wanted to get into classrooms. You wanted to follow up with a teacher. You wanted to spend time planning. You wanted to think strategically. But somehow, the week got away from you. And here's what I've learned after years in education and in leadership. The problem, it's definitely not a lack of effort. Most principals are the hardest working people that I know. The problem is that many leaders are trying to manage their days, but they're not intentionally leading their weeks. And those are two different things, guys. Today, I want to challenge you to think about your week differently, because great principals, they don't just survive the week, they design it. Let's get started.
The three systems of leadership: leading, learning, logistics. Go the extra mile, motivate, inspire. Go the extra mile, lead, empower. Principles take action. Let's go, fuel your passion. Go the extra mile. Let's go. Principles take action. Motivate, inspire. Go the extra mile. Lead, empower.
Welcome back to the Empowered Educator Show, guys. I'm your host, Dr. Mel. Today, we're continuing our conversation about practical leadership support for school leaders. In the first episode, we talked about why systems matter. In the second episode, we assessed where you are right now, your current reality. Today, we're focusing on one of the most powerful habits that successful principals develop. It's planning their week before the week begins. Now, before you tune me out and think this is just another time management episode, I want you to stay with me. This isn't about squeezing more tasks into your calendar. It's about making sure that your time actually reflects your priorities. Because the truth is, guys, every principal has the same number of hours. We all have 24 hours in a day. Yet some leaders, they consistently move their schools forward, while others, they just spend their entire week reacting. And the difference isn't effort, it's intentionality. I remember talking to a principal that I was coaching who told me that they feel like they're always busy, but that they're not really sure that they're making any progress. And maybe you felt that way too. And I asked them this one simple question. What are the 3 most important things that you need to accomplish next week? There was a little bit of a pause, not because they weren't capable, not because they weren't committed, but nobody had really ever challenged them to think about leadership from that perspective. Most of us were taught how to manage a school day. Very few of us were taught how to lead a school week. So today, I want to share 3 shifts that happen when principals move from that reactionary thinking to actually planning. So the first point is that your calendar reveals your priorities. I often hear principals tell me what is really important to them. Instructional leadership, teacher growth, school culture, student achievement. And then I look at their calendar. Have you ever done that? Have you ever looked at your calendar? Not looked at your intentions, but actually looked at your actual calendar. Because those aren't always the same thing. Your calendar, it tells the truth about your priorities. If instructional leadership matters, does your schedule show that instructional leadership matters? Is it protected time? If relationships matter, does your schedule actually reflect that? where you're out in the halls, you're visiting students and teachers, you're being visible. If coaching teachers is truly important to you, does your schedule reflect it? Do you have that coaching conversation with your teachers that you coach built into your calendar? One thing that Todd Whitaker emphasizes a lot throughout his work is that the best leaders focus on the things that make the greatest difference. Not everything, the highest impact things. Planning your week, it creates an opportunity to align your actions with your values, with your priorities. So here's a reflection question. If someone looked at your calendar from last week, what would they say was the most important thing to you? Point number 2, the best leaders create space before they need it. Many principals, they spend their week responding to whatever appears next. But great leadership requires margin. You need space to think, space to observe, space to coach, and space to solve problems effectively. The challenge is that space doesn't magically appear. You have to intentionally create it. One of the biggest mistakes that people make, especially new leaders, is believing that they will find time for that important work. The reality is that important work, it must be protected. It must be scheduled. Not because it's urgent, because it's essential. Think about your last week. How much time did you spend working on the school that you want versus reacting to the school that you have? That's a really powerful question, guys. Leadership isn't just about handling today's issues. It's about shaping the results that you're going to get tomorrow and long term. And point number 3, great weeks begin before Monday. I want you to think about elite athletes for just a moment. Game day isn't when preparation begins. It's when preparation shows up. Leadership, it works the same way, guys. Your week doesn't begin on Monday morning. It begins before Monday arrives. The most effective principals that I know, they don't spend Sunday night wondering what's coming. They enter the week with clarity. They know what matters. They know where to begin. They know where they need to be, and they know what success looks like. That doesn't mean that surprises won't happen. It's education. We know that. It's a school. We know surprises are going to happen. But preparation, it creates confidence, and confidence creates better leadership decisions. You have to have those systems. When you know where you're headed, you're less likely to be pulled off course. So today we talked about 3 very important things about planning. First, your calendar reveals your priorities. Second, effective leaders create space before they need it. And third, great weeks begin way before Monday, and you don't have to do it on Sunday night. Notice that none of these ideas are really about time management. They're about leadership, because leadership is not just what you do. It's what you intentionally make time to do. So here's your action step. Before next week begins, I want you to spend 10 uninterrupted minutes reflecting on this question. What absolutely must happen for next week to be considered successful? Don't create a to-do list. Don't solve the problem yet. Simply identify the answer, because clarity always comes before execution, and execution always becomes easier when you know what matters most. Here's your power surge. I will lead my week with intention, so my priorities, not my interruptions, determine my impact. If today's episode challenged your thinking or gave you a new perspective on how you're leading your week, would you do me a favor? Share this episode with another school leader who could benefit from the conversation, whether it's a principal, an assistant principal, an instructional coach, or another building leader. Sometimes the right idea at the right time can make all the difference. And if you're finding value in this series or in the show in general, I would be eternally grateful if you would take a moment to leave a rating and a review. Your feedback not only helps me improve the content, but it also helps other school leaders discover the support and encouragement they need on their leadership journey. Thank you for being part of this community and investing in your growth as a leader. And don't forget to go the extra mile to motivate, inspire, lead, and empower. Bye-bye.
Principles take action.